Hi, and welcome back to the Path to Profit podcast. I'm Dr. Minette Riordan with my awesome husband, Brad Dobson, and our super awesome guest, Emily Letran, Dr. Emily Letran. Welcome, Emily. Glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, we're super excited. Your story is pretty incredible. I've heard it once before, and so I'm excited to be able to share more about the journey, your journey of entrepreneurship, because it's been a really interesting one and a little bit different than we've had on the show before. So I'm excited to get started. But first, we're going to start with a quote, because we always start with a quote on our show. And our quote for the day, courage is the commitment to begin without any guarantee of success.
That's the truth.
Courage is the commitment to begin without any guarantee of success. It's a quote by Goethe. And I'm not going to say his whole name. You could say his whole name.
Johann Wolfgang von Goethe.
Yeah, he knows more German. So, but it made me think about your story when I saw this quote and the courage it's taken you and all the things you've accomplished. So Brad's going to share a little bit more about your bio, and then we'll dive right into our conversation.
Great.
All right.
Okay. Dr. Emily Letran is a general dentist who owns 2 multi-specialty group practices in Southern California. She received her Bachelor of Science from UC Riverside, Phi Beta Kappa in 3 years, so she's smart.
Just a little smart.
A UCLA grad from the School of Dentistry. My grandfather was a dentist, and my uncle is a dentist too.
Oh, okay.
And a master's in science and oral biology from UCLA at the same time. Mother of 3, Dr. Letran creatively balances work, family life, after-school life, and her personal life as a growing entrepreneur. She's the author of several books, also a certified high-performance coach dedicated in helping business professionals maximize their potential in personal and business life, streamline business, and increase profits, winning back time from work so they can enjoy that time with their family, children, and pursue their passion.
I love it. And don't forget to share about her foundation, because it's pretty cool.
Dr. Letran is the founder of the Emily Letran Foundation, dedicated to providing basic dental care to veterans and families of disadvantaged background in her monthly free dentistry day. Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. The foundation will also provide scholarships for high-performance coaching to help business owners from disadvantaged background get a jump start in growing and accelerating their businesses. That's fantastic. I love that philanthropic part of things. Neat.
Thank you.
Welcome again, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to see you guys.
Yeah, we're happy to see you too. And I'm super excited to have you share a little bit more about your story. So why don't you just share a little bit of that journey from where you started to dentistry, to foundation, to high performance coaching, because I know there's a great story in there.
Yeah, so thank you for asking that. I was actually born in Vietnam back in the late 60s, so that's during the Vietnam War. Both of my parents were teachers. They were both philosophy teachers. So growing up, we were pretty sheltered because I live in the city, but every night when we were watching TV, it was all about the war. This is back in those days where, you only have one channel.
Yes.
It's black and white, and that's all you see. So I still remember very vividly images of war. There were dead bodies, there were people fleeing their villages, burning houses. And so in 1975, the communists took over Vietnam, and life just changed. I mean, they censor a lot of things. You can't even read the comic books that you like. I like Smurf, I like and that was like in the trash or confiscated. I couldn't even listen to the music, from the previous government, that those were all considered anti-communist. So you couldn't listen to the old music. So that's how I grew up. You only learn one thing, whatever the government allow you to know. And then my mom passed away a year after that when I was 8. She passed away to cancer. So I lived with my dad and my aunts. There were 3 families living in a 3-story home. So each family just take one level. And in 19, the Vietnamese were going to go to war with the Chinese in the north and the Cambodia in the west. So they took the reason, I don't know if you remember, in 1978, the Pol Pot were taking over Cambodia and all the killing. They took that reason as an excuse to help the Cambodians, so they invaded Cambodia. And then we were fighting the border in the north with the Chinese, and we've been fighting that border for thousands of years. So they were drafting all the young men. So here we were, we just finished basically the civil war between North and South Vietnam, fighting the communists, and now we're going to go to war again. So a lot of people were fleeing the country because they didn't want to be involved in that war, especially the young men. So my aunt decided to leave the country. She was taking her 2 children. So she took my older brother and a couple of my cousins. They were all 14, 15, 16, so we know that they're going to be drafted. And my dad told me that you have to go with your aunt. Even though I'm a girl, I'm not going to be drafted. So I left my dad at the age of 13, and I never saw him again. Because once we left, he passed away, several years later. So we left in a fishing boat. It was about 50 feet in length, and then there were 60 of us just crammed together, wow. Just like sardines. Like those movies that you see,
yeah,
Cuban refugees, that kind of thing. That's basically that. And so we crossed the ocean. We went to Malaysia. There was a refugee camp there. It was basically is a deserted island where they put all the refugees on there, and the United Nations were helping. And so we got food every day. We got fresh water every day because it's an island. There's you're surrounded by the ocean.
Right.
You get water, and then every evening you have maybe 3 hours of electricity, and then it will be shut off. So that's how I spent my summer when I was 13. I was in a refugee camp.
Wow.
And when I came to the United States, we first settled in Louisiana. We were there for 6 months, and then we moved to California because one of our friends were in California. And I went to middle school, just getting basically all the help from the government because my aunt was there with 6 kids.
Right.
The government aid and the housing, and I grew up. I was delivering newspaper every day, so I would wake up at 5 a.m. because the paper get there at 6, and you fold the paper and you go and deliver before 7. Then during breaks, I would always hold a job. I used to, you name it, I work in assembly line.
Yeah.
Assembly line or anything manual because, as a kid, you're not going to be able to work in an office.
Right.
And then I went to undergrad, and I always had a job, doing work study. Then I went to dental school. My first year of dental school, I worked. I used to work in a movie theater. I remember, this is in Westwood, close to UCLA, and this movie theater was, just like, back in those days, the movie theater only showed one movie, right?
Yeah.
So I'll be working there, and every day they tell me to go to break, and it's always the exact same time. So I want
the same part of the movie.
Yeah, that particular part of the movie every day.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So why dental school? Why dental?
Why dental school?
Yeah.
Well, when I was in undergrad, I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to go into science.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be a doctor because my idea of a doctor is you have a pager and people beep you and you got to go to the hospital kind of thing. I didn't want that. I interviewed a pharmacist. I asked the pharmacist, what do you do? And the pharmacist told me I counted pills. So that wasn't too exciting to me. So one of my friends told me to become a dentist. And so I just kind of unexpectedly go to dental school. I applied to dental school. I had no idea how much it would cost. I got there. I think when I went to dental school, I had $2,000 in the bank, which was a loan that they gave me when I was graduating.
Yeah.
I actually asked one of my classmates, I said, give me a loan for $2,000, should I take it or not? And he said, because I said, I don't need the money. And he said, no, take it because you're going to dental school, right? Little did I know, the first week they say, come down and buy your equipment, and it's $7,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
They go, oh, that $2,000 didn't go very far. But I went through dental school with loans and scholarship, and like I said, I was working a little bit, And so those were some of the, I think those were some of the best years, because when you don't have a lot, sometimes you don't dream that much. You know what I mean? Like, this is good. I'm good. I got food to eat. I got school to go. I got school to take care of. I think sometimes when you're outside and you're around other people and they're all doing other things, then you start thinking, I don't have this, I don't have that. But I think in that particular environment, especially all the kids that go to UCLA, it's a public school.
Yeah.
So we'll be groaning if we have to pay more, right? I remember we had to pay for the gold that we use in lab, and everybody had to pay $500. And that was a lot. Right?
Yeah.
This is 1890, and the only thing we have to cheer ourselves up is, hey, if you're complaining about UCLA over here, look across town at USC. They're going through the same crap, and they have to pay 4 times as much because it's a private school.
Right. Yeah.
So so I appreciate those days when I know enough is enough.
Yeah.
Right. And I have and I know that as long as I have my family and I have the support from my friends, because we're all in the same boat, you know.
Right.
we're going to public school. Then just having that, it was just a lot of gratitude, because knowing that I could do all of these things, but really I had no money. There was the family in my arm, like I told you, she came with 6 kids, and so she did some odd jobs, and she relied on the government help so that we can all go to school and get free lunch and things like that. And so that's the reason why I started the foundation.
Yeah.
What I did at first when I finished dental school, when I come out, I always want to try to give back. And as soon as I have my dental office, that was things that I would do for my patients. You know, a mother may come in and say, my son is in the band and they're traveling to Florida for a competition, and then I can't make this payment, right? Whatever the payment is for his braces. And I would just write a check to her. I just say, how much is a trip to the Florida, or whatever, $1,500, whatever. I would just give her the money, because when I was going to school, somebody gave me the money.
Yeah.
You know, and this is when I'm in the position where I could give back. I just do that. Just first for within the office, and then I went to CEO Space, which is an international business organization. When I went there, in the back of my mind, I wanted to have a foundation, like something that is more formal, something where you can ask people to help you so you can help others. And so I started the foundation toward the end of 2015 is when I got approved.
Yeah, nice.
C3, and I just start, I just want to start where I'm at, which is just do 1 free day of dentistry a month, run my office. And in the future, when I'm able to raise funds, then I would like to get a mobile unit.
Nice.
So I could go to different areas and help serve other communities.
That's lovely. I love why you're doing it and how you're doing it. And I think for our listeners, everybody has the chance to do this, whatever level you're at. You always have the chance to give back in this way, and to remember that you're where you are, having got there through your hard work, but also on the shoulders of others. Yeah. And you can bring that to the people in your life or the people around you. It's just a lovely, lovely action.
And I love the theme that clearly is still very important to you from when you were a kid of, I just want to help people.
Yes.
Right. We talk a lot on the show about knowing your big why, what's your vision? Why are you helping people? And so it's pretty clear from an early age, you had this calling to help people, and that you've been able to do that in a variety of different ways. So I'd love to shift gears a little bit and talk about becoming an entrepreneur. So, you see opening your own dental practice as being an entrepreneur or a small business owner. It's interesting. So I'm curious how you identify in that arena.
Well, I was pretty naive. So when I came out, yeah, I remember before I graduated, some of the friends were sharing an idea, and then this one friend said, "Oh, they said that if you come out in 5 years, you don't have your own office, you're a loser, right?" And that got stuck in my head. So I came out. I was working for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for, I think, 4 different offices. I enjoy that because I like to learn. So you go to this one office, different culture, whether it's the staff or the patient, and then you go to another office, and the doctor is different. So even though driving was kind of a pain in Southern California, but
No,
I didn't
really?
mind it. But when I have my daughter, I was about to try to buy an office, and that's when I say, hey, if I have my kid, then I want to be able to, give myself the time when I need to.
Yeah.
So that was really my reason for having my own office. It
It's exactly
wasn't
the same reason we started our first company 15 years ago,
right,
was to have the flexibility.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because sometimes people say, oh, when you have your own office, you make more money. That was never really something that I thought of. It was just more, I want to have more time with my daughter. And of course, as soon as I have her, I will make up these weird schedule. Like on Tuesday, I would come in from 1 to 7 because I want to be home with her in the morning.
Yeah.
When she was going to kindergarten,
Mm-hmm.
I would come in to work late.
Yeah.
Right? I would drop her off at school, then I go pick her up, then I go to work.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't know if you remember, little kids have minimum days and all those crazy things, and that would be changing the schedule all this time. And I think that's really was what I wanted to do, was just to be there for the kids.
And you have three kids?
I have 3. Yeah, I have 3. And so this year, I'm so proud to say I no longer have to drive them, because it only took 15 years. Because we live a block and a half from the high school. Yeah. So this year, my youngest started high school, so he walks to school.
Nice.
But all these years,
no more carpool.
Yeah, I would no more carpool, right? I would wake up in the morning, drop the kid off, go to work for a couple hours, go back, pick up the kids, and either take the kid to work or take the kid to a babysitter.
Yeah.
And the worst part was when all 3 of them were going to 3 different schools, but I'm glad that's over.
So I so appreciate that you're sharing this, Emily, because I think it's such a normal part. Like parents who have full-time jobs working for companies and other people, right. I really don't know how they manage it. Right. And so I love that your inspiration for starting your own dental practice was about having the flexibility to raise your kids the way that you wanted, and that you've made it work, and you made it work successfully. So you now have actually 2 dental offices.
Right. Well, at one point I had 3.
Right. And that was too much?
Yeah. Well, it was more, the 3rd office was a Medicaid office. Mm-hmm. So there was just a lot more management. Work. Yeah, a lot more management. And I didn't like the fact that I'm just going to come by and collect money.
Yeah.
Because I like to be there. I like to be involved. So I just say, okay, you know what, I think 2 is enough. And then, a while back, I thought I wanted to have a lot of offices. I thought that was the business model that I want, until I have this calling about coaching. Then I say, no, I actually don't want a lot of offices. I want to go and impact lives, not just locally, but, further out beyond, because I could be right here and I could be coaching somebody and I make a difference in somebody's life all the way somewhere.
So I'm curious about that. So I love hearing about your entrepreneurial journey. So, from where you started, and with your parents who were philosophers must have really struggled with communism, but I'm sure it's a whole nother conversation for another day. But I love where you started, right? In this journey where you've really made your own path. I really see you as you are an American success story, right? And I'm curious, what made you want to become a coach, right? Because it's not something you normally hear dentists branching off into other industries, completely something so different. So how did you get excited about coaching, and how do you make that work with running these 2 dental offices?
Well, first of all, as far as how do I coach is, it's all about the schedule. Yeah. So I have the blessing of just setting the schedule the way I want. So I would coach people like maybe before I start work, or maybe during lunch break, or on Friday. Friday is my planning day. That's the day I work on my, on my business. So I start there, unless a client wants to be coached like at 11 a.m. on Thursday or something. But usually I dictate when I'm going to coach. And the reason I wanted to start doing coaching, okay, my selfish reason is I want to get rid of whiners. And it doesn't sound very profound, but if I'm sharing my story and that I really work for everything I have, right? Like nobody can really take anything from me because I created everything. It's not like I borrowed that from you, and I learn things myself. I do things myself, so I'm very comfortable with that. And as I go to some of these conferences and meet people, I hear these complaints, right? Well, I would run into friends and they say, "How do you have so much time? How do you have 2 offices?" And then I see you going wherever to the conference, and then I don't have time. And I'm thinking, well, you don't have time because you don't make time, right? And it's all about the training and the exposure, because you have to want to learn. And I'm just blessed because when I was very young, when I just first started, I started my first office in 1997. And by 1998, I already found myself reading newsletter from all these dental gurus. That's one of the reasons why I bought my second practice. Is one of the gurus said, one way to grow your business is to buy another one. Instead of trying to build this one, you can also build this one, and then you get multiple of them going. And that's where I started that. And so I want to help people to be able to do what I do if they choose to.
Right.
Because I would see people who, same like me, I have friends. My ex-roommate from dental school, I mean, as soon as she got pregnant, she sold her office. She said, "No, I got to be home to take care of my kids." And then, of course, she regretted later because now she got to go back and start over. Whereas it could be very simple, put an associate in there. And I know there's a whole other mindset for that, because when you kind of give up control of the business, you have to have a certain mindset, right? But I got 3 kids, and I got associate with the second pregnancy because when I bought the first office, I already had my first one. But I got the kids. I remember when the kids were growing up, there were a couple of years where I worked from 9 to 2, because with the 2 boys, they're 2 years apart. I just went home, and the patient would say, "But I want to see you," and I say, "Okay, come in from 9 to 2."
So can you talk a little bit about, because what I hear you saying is that you're really good at managing your time.
Right.
And so I want to talk a little bit about how important that is, and why that's been kind of one of the secrets of your success.
Well, I think the secret of my success is investment. And by that, what I mean is investing in myself, learning these techniques, whether it's time management, whether it's investment in real estate, or whatever it is that you learn, but it's for yourself, right? You got to think about yourself first, and then investing in your business, which could be investing in your team, train them, show them how to do things, so then you can be removed and the business is still running. I love that. That's really is my secret, is investing, right? Then the time management part really comes from what do you want. So if somebody, there are people out there, let's say there are dentists out there, they're happiest when they just go in there and just work on patients, right? If that's what they want, that's great. But if what I want is, okay, I want to spend some time teaching other people, and I only want to spend this much amount of time, working on patients, and then this amount of time investing in learning and going to conferences. If that's what I want, then I need to make up a schedule that would help me achieve my goals. So first is the clarity. You have to be very clear. What do you want? What's most important to you? And then you set up the time that way to help you get to those goals. Because I think sometimes people think, well, when I first had a coach, he would say, okay, everybody should have a planning date, right? So I came back to the office and I said, I'm taking off Tuesday morning from 9 to 1 for my planning day. And then I didn't know what I was supposed to plan.
So you had the time.
Yeah, but I said, no, the coach said to plan, to do marketing and stuff. And then I didn't know enough marketing, right? So all of that come with the learning. So I think when we're not clear on what exactly we want and why we want it, it's hard to say, okay, just manage your time. So you manage your time, you get out on time, and then what? Is it, you may get out on time, then you don't go and spend that with your family, with your kids, and you go and you do something else that distract you.
Yeah.
You just add more to your plate, but it's not getting you to your goal. So,
I think it's really important to back up to what you said too about investing in yourself. Clearly you understood the value of that. And I think it's a real mindset shift for not necessarily new people in business, but
people that have been in business for a while and need to refresh.
Or they aren't familiar with coaching, or they're not familiar with the training that they can get, or they get stuck and they don't know why, because they're not growing their knowledge, they're not changing. I got that way in my career. I was in software for years and got really stuck.
Right.
And it really takes a commitment to yourself. Some people don't have the self-confidence to commit to themselves. They might think they don't have the money, but it's actually the most important thing they can do to move their business forward.
One of the things that people tend to complain is being burnt out, right?
Yeah.
I'm burnt out. And my friends still tell me, you are so weird. After 24 years in dentistry, you still like it. And I go, but it's because I do what I like. If it's a procedure that I don't like, I bring in a specialist or an associate to do it. Yeah. So in a way, it's kind of like time management. This part I don't want to manage, I'm going to delegate it. And so that way I can just minimize my stress as much as I can, whatever is in control. It's similar to if you have, if I have a difficult patient coming in, I know this patient talk a lot, I'll give it that to my associate. Because we book the associate different, we give them more time, because they at a different level. And so they can take care of that patient. Because if you give the patient to me, I may not be doing my best because I already know this person go on and on and on and on.
Right.
And so I'm better just going in there and do the treatment, and I would spend the time talking at the first visit. And that just, because I know myself, right? So a lot of time with what you say is you got, with this discovery, with this learning, is you gotta know yourself first. And you gotta know what stress you out, and you minimize that stress. And that's what a coach would be good, because a coach just give you a different perspective.
I love that. So I'm curious, because you've done so many different things and yet you've been very dedicated to building your dental practice. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who are just starting out?
I would say if they're just starting out, the best advice I would say is get a coach. And the reason for that is you can shortcut a lot of this.
Yeah.
There's, let's say, self-discovery thing, why do you want to do certain thing? What's your passion? What's your mission? What's your end goal kind of thing? A coach would just help you figure that out faster. You can go on your own journey. Everybody have their own journey, but how somebody have a quick journey
yes,
and some other people take a long time. And I'm amazed. I have one of my clients is a dentist, and she's only a couple of years behind me. And she told me, oh yeah, for the past 10 years, I just go through the motion. And I was pretty upset because I don't know how you have a career in health and go through the motion. I think you could if you're so busy, so you don't have time to think, kind of thing.
Right.
But I've been going through my life and my career very intentional.
Right.
Right. I want to do this. Like I think I might have shared this at the last seminar. Is I make it intentional when I go into a room where there's a patient. I'm going to make that patient laugh. Am I successful 100% of the time? No, but I'm pretty sure in the 90s
Yeah.
And people would come and say, hey, I love to see you because you make me laugh. And that's my goal too,
Yeah.
So when they just start out, if they're not sure the steps to take, then I think it's best to have a coach, to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
But for example, you could take online courses. That's different from talking to a live person, right? To a person who will actually ask you those questions that make you think. And I think that is the advantage of that. If you could, dedicate your time and your effort and your money to that. But if you can, then continue that journey to learning. I think the mistake that people make is once they finish school, they think they're done with the learning. If you're in professional school or you're in high school or trade school, you think you're done with the learning, and actually what it is you're just getting started.
Yeah. That's such great advice. Yeah, we're big fans. In fact, I would say it's one of our core values is just learning something new every day, that sense of just continuous improvement. We also invest a lot in ourselves and in our business because we know how important it is to keep that going. You also said something at the very beginning that's one of our topics that's really near and dear to our heart. Is part of your coaching, what you like helping people to do is to make profit.
Right.
Because I'm sure dental practices are very similar to other business models where it's easy to make a lot of money, but not necessarily a lot of profit.
Exactly.
And so I'm curious, what are some of the secrets or things that you've learned or how you've managed to stay focused on the profit piece?
Well, in order to do that, you have to know your numbers.
Yeah.
You have to know all the metrics, right? So for example, I would share with people, I rent out a movie theater and I invite my patients to go watch the movie with popcorn and drinks. So I do this once a year. I would do it more often, but I have to watch which movie because sometimes the movie I like may not be the one that everybody else like.
Right.
So we're actually going to go see the movie at the end of May. It's going to be the Pirates movie, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. So then people would say, isn't that really expensive? Isn't that a lot of money?
Yeah.
And I said, no, it is not, because I know how much it costs to do the event. I know how much it costs to bring in a patient, and I know how much income or revenue a new patient can generate.
Right.
So if I know all those numbers, and I know every time I do that event, I would get at least 2 or 3 new patients, it pays for itself. And then the goodwill is on top of that.
Right. And I assume that goes along towards client retention as well, right? If you're bringing in all your clients, they're like, who else? I've never heard of a dentist that basically throws a party for all her clients. How cool is that?
I love that.
Right. Or, I think I'm the only dentist in town who give cookies and candies on Valentine's Day. Because people say, well, it's job security. No, it's not job security for me. Those are the stuff that I like. Right? So I like to give people what I like and what I think is fun. So I don't want to say I'm not the boring dentist, because that's kind of implying that other people are boring, but I'm one of those people that I do these things. Like I take patients to Dave & Buster's, right? Let's sit down and eat dinner and hear all your, whatever those are, your card, and just go disappear, right? Yeah. So because it's actually, I'm just inviting you just for fun. There's no, it's not like I'm going to ask you for your referrals or whatever. Right. Those things that just happen. But let's say for that particular event, I invite the patients who have invested a certain dollar amount, right? So I keep track of those, right? So we go back and we say who had spent X dollar in the past 12 months.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that we're inviting. And then it's a very humbling experience, because when I look at that list of only so many names, they have paid hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. So when you keep those metrics, then you can make the decision very easily.
Yeah, it's such great advice. I love that advice.
Would this be profitable or not? Well, look at the numbers. I mean, does it work or not? If it doesn't work, then how do you make it work, or maybe don't do it? So I think in order to keep the profits, you need to know your numbers and the amount, what sometimes is hard to factor in is the time, right?
Yes.
So I just give myself a salary per hour. If it's going to take this much time, then I'm going to calculate that in as an overhead expense. And then, okay, so do I do that or not? Then that's how I make those decisions. And I think for people, because we don't want to say that we're profit driven, right?
Right.
I think it's better to be metric driven. Like if you know your metric, you know your numbers.
Yeah.
You know this is the overhead. You know if you produce X dollar or you collect X dollar, you know you're making a profit, and then you can just go cranking on that. And I think if people are newer in the profession or in their career, if they can kind of get that down, then they can make quick decision. They can make accurate decision. It's similar to, well, do I spend money on advertising or not? Right?
Yeah.
Well, do you know how much it's going to bring in? How many people it's going to bring in, and however many people, how much you can make from those people, from those clients. And
it's so important, and we work with that ourselves, and we work with it with our clients on that all the time. All you creatives out there, doesn't matter that you're a creative or a dentist or a rocketeer.
Right.
You got to know your numbers.
You have to know those numbers. You have to spend time in your books. Yep.
Right. And and on that note, I think that you should invest in a team, meaning like a CPA or a bookkeeper, whoever, because I would be the last one you want to talk to as far as accounting. I mean, I don't like looking at those numbers. I know what they are, but I don't get excited, right? About the numbers. Let somebody who get excited about that stuff deal with it and just give you, these are the data that you need to know. I don't need all these, I don't know how many pages of the tax return. I just need,
I love
I just
that.
want to see,
Awesome.
So I think to be good with that is to invest in having a team.
Yeah.
So you don't have to invest so much time.
I totally agree. And so we're coming to the end of our time, and I know you have an awesome gift for people. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about your free gift, and also where can people go to just stay connected with you and learn more about you and what you're up to.
Yeah, so I have a gift for your audience. They can go to exceptionalleverage.com/ebook. They can get an ebook. It actually shares a little bit about my story.
Nice.
And also my business strategies.
Oh, cool.
What some of the main strategies I've used to build my dental practice for 20 years, the past 20 years. And they can go to my website, dremilyletran.com. So it's DREMILYLETRAN.com. My podcast is on there. Some of the other ebooks are on there. My stories on there. There's some testimonials they can look at. Beautiful. And I'm going to have my next event in July. Everybody is welcome to come. We do 2 days of. The first day we talk about high performance, the strategies in high performance like clarity, energy, productivity, time management. Nice. Yeah. And the second day we talk about business systems.
Cool.
What you have in place to grow your business.
Awesome. Business systems are so important. We talk a lot about systems on this show and how much they matter. So all those links will be in our show notes. But if you're driving and listening, again, that was exceptionalleverage.com/ebook. for the free gift, and dremilyletran.com to connect with Dr. Emily and get more information about her events and everything she's got coming on. Emily, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. This was a great story.
I know there's like so many juicy details in here. I hope everybody really listened to not just her story, but to her courage, her commitment, her focus on numbers and systems, two of our favorite things to talk about.
And no whining.
And no whining. So I love that. So we know who your clients are. They're the ones who don't whine. They're the ones who kick some serious tail and get into high gear in their business.
Yes.
Thanks, Emily.
I love it. Again, I'm Dr. Minette Riordan. This is Brad Dobson. We also have a super fun event called Creative Freedom in Action coming up on Saturday, May 13th in Encino. You can come spend a day with me, Brad, and our friend Molly Mandelberg. We're going to be telling you all about business models, not business systems as much as business models, and how to get your online courses launched. So you can get more about that in the show notes as well. We'll see you all on the next show. Again, Emily, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.